effects as well. I find it rather humorous the amount of times we all stare at big red flags hovering in the distance, like little UFOs threatening to invade our personal realms with laser beam nuclear warheads. But rather than taking cover, or at the very least arming ourselves with some sort of combative force field, we frolic rather blithely and ignorantly toward the pretty lights and completely overlook the impending doom. Now, in some instances, this could be a good thing. Seize the day, leap of faith and all that. But mostly when the guy in front of you is trying to get in your pants, despite being Metro-European, currently in a relationship, and only returns text when he is good and ready to have a guarantee of sex, it's a safe bet you're not going to get a follow-up call once you finally take off all your clothes. Now, this does not mean that you can't have your incredible moments of whimsical sexual decadence that make it all worthwhile to frolic in the fire. For example, several months ago, I took a twilight turn down Inferno Lane and found myself in the living room of a man I had been known to dilly-dally with on occasion. We were engaging in the usual banter involving his pleas for sexual congress and my scandalous teasing that oft drives the men wild, or makes them yell a lot, but that's a different story. I was sitting on his couch, half-clothed in flirtatious lust, when the man in question became frustrated in desire, so he took a cigarette to let off some steam. As I sat there all coy and come hither, but radiating power with my shield of boundaries, he turned to me from the window, cigarette lounging in his fingers, smoke fuming from his mouth, and said, "Take off all your clothes. Now, take them all off. I won't say it again." And of course I did, but not before putting each and every one of my pieces of clothing back on my body to further encourage his dramatic obscenity. Because let's be honest, I really do get off on the ridiculousness of men. It's like, the more ridiculous, the more completely absurd, lose your mind, sort of frustrating, want to throw things at a wall, kind of infuriating confusion, the more turned on I am. Which is why the men I date could probably look like a toad if they tapped into the right kind of absurdity, at which point my clothes would immediately fall off. I would kiss them into kingdom come and make them my prince. But after all of these extra special male antics, the mantics, as they were, I am more often than not left wallowing in a nice little pool of what happened to turn me into a sobbing mess. I want things for me, damn it. I have goals, plans, aspirations, inspirations, and all of the wonderful things we conjure for ourselves in this zany little world. I made choices that took me away from the typical options we were brought up to believe in were the next steps in life. But just because the suburban house with the white picket fence and the car and young children were not my youthful agenda, doesn't mean I don't want love. On the contrary, it seems to me like I want it more.
Senior year, and like a shot she and Mitchell got married that summer. Carol Ann getting bigger every minute, thinking, what am I doing here? While Mitchell's out every night being a heavy metal drummer. They got a little cute house on a little cute street with a crucifix on the door. Mitchell got a job at a record store. Wasn't like that at all. Made Carol Ann a cute gave up my life for the better part of a year. And so I'm starting to think that this maybe might work, and the second it entered my head, he needed to take some time off, focus on his career. He blew me off with a heartfelt letter. I thought I could do better than that. You don't have to get a haircut. You don't have to change your shoes. You don't have to like Duran Duran. Just love me. You don't have to put the seat down. You don't have to watch the news. You don't have to learn to tango. You don't have to eat prosciutto. You don't have to change a thing. Just stay with me. I want you and nothing but you. Miles and piles of you. Finally, I'll have something worthwhile to think of each morning. You and nothing but you. No substitution will do. Nothing but fresh, undiluted, and pure. Top of the line. And totally mine. I don't need any lifetime commitments. I don't need to get hitched tonight. I don't want you to throw up all your walls and defenses. I don't need to put on any pressure, but I know when a thing is right. And I spend every day reconfiguring my senses. When we get to my house, take a look at that town. Take a look at how far I've gone. I will never go back, never look back anymore. And it feels like my life led right to your side and will keep me there from now on. Think about what you wanted. Think about what could be. Think about how I love you. Say you'll move in with me. Think of what's great about me.